You want to find these things out 3 weeks ahead, not 3 days ahead. You want to find out what time sound check is going to happen. Sound check is critical. Now, you're not necessarily always going to get a sound check on every show you play, especially if you're in the middle of a lineup. Sometimes if you're in the middle of a lineup, what will happen is the headliner will get a sound check, the opener will get a sound check, and the middle act usually gets a line check where they get sound checked right before they play. But in a lot of cases, those acts are usually carrying their own sound person, so it's not as big of an issue. If you have the ability to get a sound check, I always recommend pushing for one. That being said, you're not going to get one every time. However, if you are offered one or if you are able to secure one, definitely find out what time your sound check is going to be. Because here's the thing, even if not all of your members can be there in time for load in, you all have to be there for sound check. If you're not there for sound check and you can't sound check properly, it's going to affect the show or it's going to delay the show. If not all of you can be there in time to load in, that's one thing. But sound check, you have to be on site. And speaking of sound check, something that you need to know in advance, way ahead of time, and this is something that I see tripping a lot of bands up right now. I see a lot of bands making this, in my opinion, amateur mistake, is verify what backline the venue has. Now, what I mean by backline is literally the equipment. Backline means the drum set. Backline means bass amplifiers. Backline means guitar amps, guitar heads. That means keyboards, keyboard stands. You need to know going into the show what of this equipment you are expected to bring on your own and what equipment the venue is providing. Do not assume that a venue is providing any of this unless they tell you it in writing. A common mistake I see bands making is assuming that venues are going to provide backline and then asking at the last possible minute for it. And then suddenly the promoter is scrambling to find out if the locals can provide it. And the thing is, if a local can't provide it, then they're usually stuck having to rent from a backline company, which costs a lot of money, especially if it's at the last minute. If a promoter has to do that at the last minute for you, they may look at the cost of doing that versus the cost of doing the show and decide that it's not worth it. That sounds terrible, but I've seen it happen before. So it is critical that you know exactly what the venue has and does not have.